All right, guys, welcome back to another video. We are going to be talking about this story that completely blew up later last night, and it has to do with Inotria and the last song, which is now being indefinitely delayed on the Xbox console. But before we continue, if you do enjoy daily gaming news and content, hit that like, hit the subscribe, share the video, and check out my link to my Spotify. It is in the description. So this game here, Inotria, the last song, is a Souls-like game. It kind of also reminds me a little bit of like Lies of P and stuff with the area and the graphics and stuff that they are going for with this game, with the atmosphere. But this is a game that came out last night, put out a statement basically calling out Xbox, which is very similar to what happened with that hack game where they had put out a tweet that went completely viral. I think it had over like 1 million views on it or something crazy like that, that basically they had to delay the Xbox game or not put the game out on Xbox at all because there was no communication between the ID at Xbox program getting the game certified onto the platform, and the communication back to the developer was basically just non-existent. And it seems like this is the same case here that is happening with Inotria, the last song. But this one, we'll go through it. It's a different case, I think. It's kind of weird as to what is going on here. It does seem a little bit interesting, suspect, you could say, around the edges. Not saying that to try to take blame off of Xbox whatsoever. If there are issues at ID at Xbox with them not being able to communicate or communicating in a timely manner with independent developers, that's obviously an issue that needs to be worked out, because that's going to hurt just some great games from the indies that are going to be missing the platform for a stupid reason. Basically, it's just not communicating with them properly. But we'll go through this because they put out that tweet, it went crazy. And then this is kind of an update here via Windows Central and what they are saying as what is happening. It says here, unfortunately, at this time, we have to announce an indefinite delay of the Xbox version. We understand how disappointing this news is to the Xbox community. Unfortunately, despite our best efforts and the hard work of our dedicated team, we've encountered challenges that have delayed our release on the Xbox platform. We want to emphasize that this is not a decision we've made lightly. We apologize for any disappointment this may cause and sincerely thank you for your understanding and patience. As a self-published indie studio, your support means everything to us, and we are dedicated to bringing Inotria to as many players as possible. So that is what they say here, the indefinite delay of the Xbox version. Now, if you go on their Twitter account, they're responding to a lot of people. One of the funniest things that did happen when this news did come out, you saw all of the people who spread fake news. Basically, anytime any negative news comes out on X, they spread it and they were saying it was the Series S, basically trying to point to that as the reason, which is what the easy thing is, I think, for a lot of people out there covering the games industry or just social media accounts who have lots of big followings, is just to instantly point at the Xbox Series S as to why a game gets delayed. They came out many times and said it has nothing to do with the Series S. The game is actually running on the Xbox Series S just fine. They say they have a build. They just need to get the game certified so that they can put it up there on the Xbox store for people to go out and play it. Now, he goes on here. The community manager known as Creatura says, we are calm in response to fan questions and speculation, and says, I think this person is coming up with their own conclusions based on nothing because we never mentioned the Series S and we are not paid by Sony. So they clarify multiple times that it is not the Xbox Series S that is causing the issues. Now, the Jayama Games, I think that's how you say it, the CEO, Jackie Greco, had, they say, stern words to share on what is going on here. They say, Jackie Greco says, you can ask Xbox why they haven't answered us for 2 months. Obviously, they don't care about Inotria and they don't care about you. The context is open a store page and submission. We have the Xbox Series X and S version ready, but we can't proceed with a submission and release. He says, I spent a lot of money for porting and they decided to ignore us. So that is the reason why this game is being delayed indefinite. Now, why I think this is a little bit of a different situation than hack is because of kind of the previous statements that has been made by this developer. And just overall, this game has been delayed multiple times. They continuously have moved it. It was supposed to, I think, come out in June, and then it got moved because of the release schedule. And then I think they put it for August, got moved now, and it's coming out on September 19th, something along those lines, but it has already been delayed multiple times, which is completely fine. If a game gets delayed, they're trying to make it better. That's great. The issue I have right now is this story does not add up completely. because they put this out back, I believe this was in March when they announced this, but they said that they were suspending the development of the Xbox version. Now, this is a long statement. It was originally in Italian and it got translated into English. The person who translated it was Italian too, but there may be some errors. But here's what it says. Jayama Games officially apologizes to all Xbox players. We are well aware that the news of the lack of presence on Xbox on day one is causing many discussions on the matter, and we want to clarify some aspects of the matter with this official statement. We have been internally discussing the simultaneous release on all platforms for some time. I'm sorry to have communicated it only now, but it is a choice that was made recently, and I was officially informed that releasing it on all platforms would have entailed a decline in the general quality of the product, as well as a further delay of the same. I want you to know that the delay caused by the launch on the same date as one of our competitors gave us the opportunity to take more time to further improve the product. This led to raising the bar, and I, as CEO, am responsible for the final quality of the product. So I believe there he's referencing the fact that they originally released the release date of the game because of it releasing, I think it was near Shadow of the Erdtree when it was supposed to originally come out, which would have obviously killed it right away. I don't even know if this game is going to sell well no matter what. Like, it's not a big game. It's a small indie studio, small indie game here, but obviously a Souls-like game releasing besides Shadow of the Erdtree has no chance. So that's obviously a good decision there. It says, that said, I would never allow our game to release discreetly on all platforms. So all of that said, why they're delaying it and Xbox not getting it, never actually wanted to release this game on all platforms at the same time. He says, I prefer the game to be perfect on 2 platforms rather than discrete on 3. Once we have released the game, we will also get to work on the Xbox version and the DLC so that we can also give the game to Microsoft users. So right there, he's saying in this statement, this game was never actually going to be releasing on Xbox day one, and they were only going to start working on the Xbox version and DLC after it had already released on PlayStation and on PC. It says here, the choice fell on PlayStation 5 rather than Xbox simply because we have a relationship with our partners in Asia, Sega, with whom we have agreements that we want to respect as a matter of respect for them. As you may all know, the Asian market is largely dominated by PlayStation, so PS5 was the most logical choice. However, I would like to clarify some things. Jayama Games is an independent software house that has never been financed by anyone, including Microsoft. Some accusations that have been made by some users are bordering on a lawsuit regarding this issue. I hope that everything is clear now, that the Xbox community doesn't get angry about my forced choice. So this was a statement made back in March, I believe, and it completely contradicts what is happening here right now. Now, you could argue maybe because the game got delayed some more until September, that they had more time to make the Xbox version, but he is explicitly saying here they aren't going to start working on that Xbox version or continue to work on that Xbox version until it's released already on the PlayStation 5 and on the PC, on the 2 other platforms. But now puts out a tweet, causes tons of outrage on social media, as it did with Hack. And you could say potentially we have a great marketing campaign here for the game that a lot of people did not know about. I mean, a lot of people may have not actually wanted to play Inotria or heard about Inotria, but now they probably have. Now, I'm not trying to accuse them of lying or anything like that, but it just seems a little bit suspect based off of these previous posts. And I would have loved, more so than anything out of this entire situation, if they would have come out and completely just clarified that. They do say this, and this kind of makes even less sense in my opinion, but this person asks, this isn't the first time they've made such an announcement. It's obvious they're using this topic as free marketing to promote the game, but let's be real, no one is going to buy it. And they respond here. It's the second time indeed. We first thought that the game will not release on Xbox. Xbox community helped us get in touch with them. So we spent lots of time to get the game ready on the Series S and X, but with the lack of communication on Xbox, we cannot proceed with submission. And maybe there's more clarification that needs to be made with this statement, but to me, it doesn't really make any sense. Like, you are the developer. You don't need the community to show you how to get in touch with Xbox. I mean, that is literally a part of the job of developing games, trying to figure out how to get them onto the various different platforms. And from what I can tell, you go onto ID at Xbox, there's many resources out there that can help you figure out how to get into contact with Xbox to get your indie game at least started to potentially get onto the Xbox platform. But even with that being said, if they suspended development in March, They were April, May, June, July, August, September. That's 6 months. They were all of a sudden magically able to get this game ready to be released at the same time as everything else on the Series X and the Series S. There are definitely questions that need to be asked here. And why this is kind of disappointing is because everyone rushed out, put out these articles, got all these quotes and everything, but nobody really asked the question as to really what was happening here. Because somebody who is interested in this type of stuff, I would love to know how this occurred. How were they able to suspend it and then now have it ready to go just 6 months later for the Series X and S, just ready, just needs to be certified, and it will be ready to go even when they had said that they were going to suspend it and start the development or continue the development later on after they had launched it on the PlayStation 5 and the PC. So it's an interesting one. We don't know the full details of it, but obviously it's blowing up online. Tons of outrage, tons of people saying it's the Xbox Series S, even though they said it wasn't the Xbox Series S. And it's just unfortunate how some of the stuff is reported. Either way, I hope Xbox addresses this. I hope if they aren't responding to emails, like get out there, respond to the emails for these indies, as or situations like this can continue and will continue to happen. And it is just overall a bad, terrible look on Xbox, especially how social media takes it and makes it into this massive mountain of negativity. But I will end the video there. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you're new, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.